Imagine you're playing Pokemon when suddenly... Whoa. This is Pokemon Glazed, a ROM hack set in the Donut region where your rival is a talking Pikachu and you randomly teleport into the real world. I mean, this sounds like the greatest thing ever. In order to make my playthrough more interesting, I'm gonna add a challenge. I can only use Pokemon that have a Pokemon in their evolution line that's name starts with D. Not a big list, but there is some cool mons in there. Okay, let's go. We start off in some weird forest where some random guy says some vague stuff, blinds us and takes us back to our bed. Not suspicious at all. Turns out in this game, you have a dad.
Oh, wow. I can't believe this.
This is Professor Willow. He offers us a choice between 5 starter Pokemon from the Sinnoh region. However, it turns out he's an inconsiderate asshole because none of them start with the letter D. So it's up to the random number generator. Okay, Riolu it is. Can't wait to spend 10 years evolving this. Outside the starting town, our parents are being ambushed by a Pikachu wearing a scarf. That's normal. We kick his ass with our new Riolu before our parents tell us about a gym in Ocean View City. I guess that's where we're going first. Immediately, we're stopped again by the world's edgiest man, Percy, who is a Cyndaquil. Ah, get it? He says fired up, has a fire type, and his hair has orange fiery parts in it. Fucking genius. We beat Percy's ass because no one gets in the way of the godly Riolu, and he declares us as rivals. I literally couldn't give 2 shits, but good for him, I guess. We enter Choco Town, where this inventor gives us Pokeballs and a Pokedex. He asks us to help him in some forest, but we're immediately stopped by Orange Team Rocket. However, they get their asses kicked by this guy who's apparently got a Darkrai and in the Elite Four of this region. And he's just chilling by fucking Milkshake Swamp. Sick. As I'm traveling through the world's lamest name for a woods ever, it slowly dawns on me that it'll be a long time before I catch a Pokemon that starts with D. Which is just great. So Riolu Solo Run it is. How can this possibly go wrong? Ignore that. Orange Team Rocket are minding their own business, checking out some historical landmarks, when Elite Four man decides to fucking annihilate them with a Darkrai. Keep in mind, Darkrai apparently makes people see horrific nightmares according to the Pokedex, and Blake is a fucking asshole. We then get kidnapped to a hidden corner of the woods by this weirdo again. Look, I've seen enough creepy educational videos to know where this is going, so I make a run for it, before bumping into a Mudkip, noticing a lack of D's at the start of its name, and so murdering it in cold blood. Then I run into this fucker again, who starts talking about shit like your universe, which makes me think he's definitely in a cult and that this is where he sacrifices people. So I make another run and end up back in the Ancient History Museum. This is the Ocean View town our parents were telling us about. It's home to the first gym, run by Sparky. That man was doomed to be an electric type trainer. But in order to fight him, we have to first go help him in the power plant. Oh, and look who it is. It's that fucking Pikachu again. The bastard is juicing himself up, and when we go to confront him, I guess he's absorbed enough electricity that he's learned how to fucking talk. He starts talking to us. So then we beat his ass. It's Sparky time, and the dude obviously doesn't want to be a gym leader, hence why he's running a whole bloody garage in his gym. It would also explain why he sucks. 1 gym down and we're on the open sea. Now this is an adventure. We end up at Serenity Isle where the professor rings us up to say, yeah, can you come down and chat? Bro, what? Turns out we did all that sailing and adventuring just to end up directly fucking above where we started. What was the point? Turns out Willow's chatting shit with Blake and they want me to go with Blake on a secret mission. But then, a miracle happens. Willow gives us permission to enter a secret cove, and I've never been happier in my life. We go to this spooky ass island full of orange people who are just kind of chilling and ruin all of their days. Oh hey, you're here too. Then we're introduced to their ultimate secret boss. God, a man like this must have the most cool, most evil name imaginable. It's fucking Michael. My man is called Mikey.
Greetings, Poke fans! Michael here.
We call him Mikey and make him cry, beating him and sending his entire troop packing. Blake is in awe of our absolute chadness and takes us back to Serenity Isle, so we can take on the second gym, a ground-type gym ran by Terry. I'm not genuinely lying when I said the guy before him was harder. This guy's best Pokemon is a Nidoking. Terry's a fucking Fanpy. Sure. With the second badge in tow, we're suddenly transported to some weird-ass place with cars in it. Turns out this is the real world, and it's where this creep is from. This creep is Luke, and it turns out he's a fucking nerd who plays Pokemon. What a loser. We use the power of Weeaboos to transport back to our dimension. I have no idea how that works, but we're in Sea Spray Town, home of the third gym. The gym leader Flo is out at Sea Spray Dam trying to fix a power spike that's coming from the nearby Geminite village. A responsible woman, she sends this random 10-year-old kid she just met to go and solve it. Also, pretty stoked about this, not gonna lie. On the way to Geminite, we bump into Percy again, who brags to us about his Quilava and how cool he is. It turns out he sucks though. We're sent to Mount Stratus where we meet our third party member, a Fanpy. Fanpy obviously evolved from the Donphan, which starts with a D. A letter of the alphabet has never brought me so much joy. It's starting to get kind of weird. In Mount Stratus, we meet this guy, who proceeds to promptly blow us up. He causes an avalanche, which we just managed to escape. Slightly pissed off we almost just died, we go and give Flo a piece of our mind, but it turns out we somehow accidentally fixed everything. I guess I'm a genius. Oh, Flo fucking sucks, by the way. 3 badges in and 2 new evolutions later, and we're off towards Stormy City. Now, what Pokemon do you expect a gym in a rainy city to have? Water type, maybe? No, that was Flo. Electric type? No, that was Sparky. I guess the Pokemon Glazed devs started freaking out when they realized they'd screwed themselves over, and that's why they proceeded to make Stormy City's gym leader Grass type. What a good, appropriate choice. He sucks, by the way. Starting to think an overleveled Lucario might be a tad strong. Oh, hey, it's a Skorupi. That evolves into a Demon. Apparently those orange fellas are on an expedition in Mount Stratus, so naturally Blake wants to murder them all with his fucking darker eye. Michael's here, and this time he's brought his son Henry to bring your child to work day. On Blake's orders, we fucking kill all that little prick's Pokemon. He's being supervised by the talking Pikachu, so we naturally murder him in cold blood too. Blake chases them all out of the cave just before we teleport to the real world, this time bringing Blake with us. The dude actually seems pretty chill about being teleported to a different dimension, and also seeing a car for the first time. Once we get back, it's off into the snowy peaks of Donut Land. And naturally, where snow is, an ice-type gym follows. Ah, an ice puzzle. This should be easy.
2,000 years later.
As revenge for making us go through that, we kick the gym leader Irene's ass, and collect our 5th badge. Hey, you know what Pokemon's in the snow? It's a pretty cool mon. We venture through the icicle tunnel and arrive in Southerly City by the Safari Zone. Blake's here and he tells us about some important things that are happening. Now he's nervous and I literally could not care less. Ooh, the Safari Zone is a dino. That starts with D. The nearby gym is closed, so we have to go to the Espo Forest to find them. However, as we're exploring, we're stopped by this fucking asshole again who takes us to the real world. Luke starts trying to tell us about some old newspaper article that might explain why we keep dimension hopping, but can only stammer out it's pink before we're teleported back. Blake then confirms my worst fears. It's the fucking Pink Panther. The bastard is trying to destroy the Pokemon universe. How did I not see this coming? We go to hunt the fucker down in a Ruins of Alph knockoff, where Team Orange are chilling, probably trying to investigate some cool symbols. So obviously Blake and I beat up a married couple. The only logical solution. Hot off ruining more people's days, Blake takes us back to Southerly City, where it's time for the Fire Gym. As is tradition in this game, the gym is a cakewalk, as nobody here ever expected to come up against an underleveled Donphan. Truly the scariest opponent. We travel back through Espo Forest and end up in Palm Tree Resort, the same resort all these orange fellas are staying at. Once we get there, Henry tells us that his dad Mikey is trying to catch Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina. What an admirable and ambitious man. Obviously wanting to watch this hunk in action, we head to the spatial ruins to see him try and catch Palkia. As we're adventuring through the ruins though, we're stopped again by the world's most insecure Pikachu. He again dies to an underleveled Donphan. Maybe just don't be shit? Michael catches the Palkia and I give him a nice pat on the back. He says that if we want to go see his master plan in action, we should go to Mount Stratus and find the Fusion Labs. On the way though, it's 7th gym time. The gyms are rock type and it turns out rock types don't particularly like Lucario very much. 7th badge collected and it's time for Mount Stratus. We journey to the top and find Fusion Labs. We're on the way to watch Michael achieve his lifelong dream. His wife suddenly gets jealous of our awesome friendship and battles us. Her team is allergic to Brick Break like everything else in this game, and our newly evolved Drapion finishes her off, allowing us to go and see our new best friend. He excitedly wants to show off his new toys to us, but they're obviously no match for the almighty Lucario. Neither is the Mew he summons that's apparently the reason why we keep teleporting to the real world. Yeah, I don't really get it either. Once we defeat Mew, Luke appears again and gives us a heartfelt monologue about how we'll never see him again. It's very cool. Thanks, Luke. With all the main story stuff out of the way, we've still got a final gym badge to collect. The final gym is located in Darkwood Town, ran by the fighting type gym leader, Tyson, who is by a mile the hardest one so far. He eventually falls to our totally not overleveled Lucario, and we've done it. 8 badges. The only thing left is the Pokemon League. We head through a long winding path full of waterfalls, forests, caves, paths, steps, other things, before getting stopped by our bestie Michael, who's here to offer some encouragement and give us a key to the top floor of a building on the resort. Pretty nice of him. We check it out, and who's waiting for us other than that fucking slimy bastard Pikachu? He challenges us to one final battle, but again, Donphan is too much for him, and defeated, he gives up. He asks us if he can join our team, giving us a big emotional monologue about how cool we are, and how much he respects us, and how much he wants us to train him. It's a shame his name doesn't start with a D though. Here we are, the Pokemon League. The Elite Four in this game are different than normal. Rather than being themed around types, they're focused around colors. There's Rosaline, the pink one, Magnus, the purple one, Tanya, the orange one, and Gray, the, you guessed it, yellow one. The champion is the fucker who's been stalking us this entire time, Blake, whose team is themed around black. Turns out Black doesn't get on with Lucario very much, and we beat him in like 5 seconds. And with that, we've become the champion of the Donut region. However, we decide to give up the mantle for some reason I don't understand, and so it's instead passed on to the next person to beat the Elite Four, who is, oh for fuck's sake,